Namaskar. Today we will discuss defects in sheet metal operation or in sheet metal process or in press tool design. So during press operation, so all of you know there are different types of operation. First is the forming, deforming operation, forming operations, and another type of operations are cutting operations. Okay, so while doing this operation or after doing this operation, once operation is completed, so many times so your desired results, you are not getting desired results. So there are some errors, some burrs, some portion of metal is thin, so some defects are there. So today we'll discuss some defects here. Before going to that defects, so we'll discuss tool design considerations, and then we'll discuss some portions, and then we'll move to defects. So designer is a person who furnishes the drawing of the tool. He must have a very good knowledge regarding the manufacturing of tool, selection of materials, and other necessary designing aspects. The die design should suit the scale of production, as it will be used for small or large lot or mass production. So press tool should meet the following requirement. Means what is required from that press tool? Accuracy. The accuracy and surface finish of stamping, that is press tool, should conform to the drawing and other specifications. So the working part of the die must be adequately strong, durable in operation, and easily replaceable when worn out. The tool should ensure the required hourly output. It should have good productivity, easy maintenance, safe operation, and reliable fastening on the press. The die should be designed preferably of standard items, using as less parts as possible. The scrap should be kept minimum. So these are some tool considerations. We must consider all these considerations or requirements before going for any press tool or press operations. Then design of press tool involves some steps. So why I am discussing all these basic things? So these basic things are required to rectify or to avoid the defects in press tool operation. That's why I am repeating the same content. Okay, so design of press tool involves some steps. One is determination of forces. Already we discussed, that is press tonnage required for the operation. Then selection of press for requisite force, workpiece, size and shape. Then determination of shut height of the tool. Then calculation of die thickness and margin, that is minimum cross section. Then designing of locating elements, selection of hardware items, selection of pillar die sets, and deciding punch length and mountings. So these are some design of press tool involves. These are certain steps you must follow. Then some points should be considered carefully. What are different important points? Today I am discussing some important points. Some care should be taken while designing and locating and performing sheet metal operations. So controlling location of the scrap strip, you should be you should do carefully, you should act carefully. So guidance should be extended at least 2 scrap width in front of first station. So the type of stripper used is also very important. This is also one of the important factor in press tool design. Then channel clearance should be accurate to allow the strip to move freely The location of figure and stage stoppers is also important. The die block should be longer and wide enough so that the location of the holes will be at least 1 or half times the thickness of the die block away from the edge. The dowel should be safe in non-cylindrical location such that the sections or parts may be mounted in one position only. The counter bore in the die block, the tapered hole in the die shoes, and the reamed hole in the die shoe must be made from 6 to 9 mm deeper than needed to allow for grinding of die block. So this is very important in press operation. Then choose the die set so that when the die block is mounted, it can be ground without removing it from the die shoe. The small profile punch should be guided in the stripper plate. So these are some important points should be considered carefully. So this is very important. So controlling location of the scrap strip is important. Guidance should be extended at least 2 scrap width in front of the station. Then stripper is important. Channel clearance is important. Location of figure and stage stoppers are important. Die block, dowel pin, then counter bore. So all these are very important. You should choose, select carefully. Okay. So let us discuss some parts. Already we discussed. So you must know. So top plate is there used in press tool. So it is a top portion and it is made by C45 or sometimes it is made up of cast iron. So top plate folds the top assembly or complete tool through the punch holder, and the material used in top plate is C45 or cast iron. Then bottom plate, it is also called as die shoe or bolster plate. Its main function is to provide the rigid foundation and base to the assembly. It assembles the fixed half of the tool, and material here used is a cast iron, a C45. Then stripper plate is also important. All of you know the plate is also called as guide plate. This plate helps in stripping operation. It not only strip from the punch, but the main function of this plate is to guide the punch assembly, which guides. Okay. Then guide pillar is also important part. So guide pillars are cylindrical pins known as guide pins or guide pillars. These provide accurate alignment to the die set. One end of the pillar is given press fit in the base plate with H7 P6 tolerance. So the other portion, which is sufficiently long, provides guide for top plate for easy sliding. So guide pillars are made up of EN36 and HRC 54 to 56. So this is hardness number. Rockwell hardness number is 54 to 56. So guide pillars are cylindrical pins known as guide pins or guide pillars. So the alignment is very important, the accuracy is very important, the tolerance provided is very important, and material is very important in case of guide pillars. Similarly, guide bush. So these are mounted to the top plate, which provide smooth sliding contact between pillars and top plate. So EN36 is a material used, and hardness is 60 to 62. So ball gauges. So in progressive press tool, the punch and die should align very accurately to provide equal clearance on all sides of the die. In such cases, the ball cage are used. The ball cages contain ball bearing inserted within them, which provide the sliding moment. The material used in case of ball cages are aluminum or brass. This non-ferrous metal is used. Then pilots. So in progressive press tool, the function of pilots is to position the stock strip accurately and to bring it into proper position for successive blanking, piercing, bending or other press operations. So mechanically fed strip normally under fed or pull forward in the same direction with the feeding motion by the pilots, because any mechanical feeding mechanism utilizes an unidirectional locking device which prevents any back feeding of the strip. So this pilot is very important. The next part is die. The die is a female member of the tool in which openings are made for the punch to enter into them, in term as die. It includes well supported and actuating part of the tool. It also includes cutting profile, bending, die inserts, pushers, stoppers, strip guides, etc. And material used is a HCR D3 and Rockwell hardness number is 60 to 62. Then punch. So this is the most important element or tool used in press operations. It is the cutting element of the tool. The punch gives hole size and shape on the component. This is made of high carbon, high chromium steel. So material is sometimes D3, T215 or CR12 and vanadium is 90%. So the material is HCH, CR or OHNS and hardness number is 60 to 62. So punches are hardened and tempered to 58 to 60 hardness number. So punch is single not used, this holder is required. So punch holder, the plate, this plate is also called as punch plate or punch holder. All the punches are accurately held in this plate. So this plate should be thick enough to accommodate punch shoulder and keep the punches perpendicular. It made out of HCHCR D2. The hardness varies 56 to 58. Then next part is die plate. So this is a revision. So you must know different parts so that you can study defects properly and you can rectify, provide remedies or to avoid defects. That's why I am repeating the portion or syllabus of this press tool. Then die plate is also important. In this plate, all die insert held accurately. So this plate thickness as same as die insert thickness. So this plate made of HCHCR, that's D2, and hardness varies from 56 to 58 number. Then material strips and parallel blocks, so which are screwed, doweled on the die surface in alignment with the diameter parameter. Now stoppers are also important element. Stoppers are installed on the dies to arrest the feeding moment of the strip to the required material D2. So here hardness for this stopper is 50 to 56. So lifters are also important part. Lifters are assembled in the die plate with the closed running feet. So these are springs actuated to hold and lift the strip. So material is D2 and the hardness number is 50 to 56. And dowels. So dowels hold the part in perfect related alignment by absorbing side pressure and lateral thrust. So dowels always should have case hardening. Similarly, so these dowels are fasteners, screws are also fasteners. The screws in assembly process, the part of the tools are held together rigidly by socket held up screw. Also screws fasten the assembly. The screws are available in standard size. So material strips. Okay, now we'll discuss material selection for different elements. So bottom plate is made up of ST42 material. Top plate is made up of ST42 material. Then die plate is made up of HCR-D2. Punches are made up of HCR-D3. Then back plate is used. The material used is case hardened. Punch plate is HCR-D2. Strip plate is HCR-D2. Then guide plate should case hardened. Guide pillar, the material used is case hardened. An auxiliary guide pillar, that is OHNS. Pilot is STD pillar. Then dowel, the material is STD. And lifters are made up of OHNS. Let us discuss some fits used. So blanking punch and stripper, the running fit is running FIT fit here. Then piercing punch and stripper, that is also running fit. The guide pillar with bottom plate, that is H7P6 press fit. And guide pillar with guide bush, that is also H6G7 sliding fit. Then punch with punch holder, that is H7K6, that is light key fit. And pilot with stripper, that H7 and G7 sliding fit. And direct pilot with the punch is also H7P6 press fit. So these are some elements, these are different types of fits and tools, materials. Then pilot with punch holder is made up of H7K6 light fit. Then dowel with stripper is H7M7 medium dry fit. So dowels with bottom plate, the fit is H7M6 dry fit. Dowels with top plate H7M6. Then dowel with punch holder plate H7M6 and dry. These are some medium dry fits. Then punch back plate for dowels and screws. So fit is running fit. Then lifter with die plate. Then guide bush with the top plate. Then adjuster slot in PHP plate. And punch and dies. So these are several fits. You can see on a screen if you wish. Let us discuss defects. Let us discuss defects. So first is a burr collection at draw line. So why it happens? Thickness of component. So if thickness is different, then burr collection at draw die you will get. Then what are remedies? So polish the draw dies and draw punch. Use good lubricants. For every 3 stroke, remove the burrs on the draw die. And definitely burr collection at draw die is removed and you will get good jobs. Then thinning. So clearance is insufficient, improper, reduces the punch and die. Improper radius on punch and die. And drawing speed is more, then you will get the thinning. So appropriate clearance is given on each draw in punch and die. Check the radius on draw, die and punch and reduce the drawing. Then cracking. So insufficient clearance due to lubrication problem or due to insufficient draw radius on punch and die drawing speed is more. The score marks, some marks are there. So insufficient radius is given on punch and die, that is lubricant is not effective, and the remedy is sufficient radius on punch and dies. Effective lubricants are used and polished to the draw punch and die. The next defect is ejection problem. So insufficient draft on punch and die. So lubricant problem, the ejection force is low in case of some applications. And so what is the remedy? The sufficient draft to punch and die should prepare. Effective lubricants are used and polished to the draw punch and dies. Similarly, burrs on blank or pierced part. So the cause is excessive cutting clearance between the punch and die, and the remedy is proper cutting clearance maintained in die. Then notching, edge pull up. So due to excessive cutting clearance between the punch and stripper wall, so welding is done to stripper. So maintain the clearance between the punch and stripper plate. Then pitch variation. So due to more clearance in strip guides, so this is a cause for pitch variation, and remedy is fitted the pilot and maintain the pilot dimension accurately. So you can do this. Then dent mark on blanked component. So burr on lower surface of the floating stripper plate causes this dent mark on blank. The spotting is done throughout the floating strip plate. Then strip is sticking to the blanking punch. What are the causes? So less stripping force due to short length and polyurethane rubber. So remedy is new more length polyurethane rubbers add in between floating. Okay. Then next defect is slug. The slug was jammed in. So less draft in piercing die and blocks. So increase the draft angle of the piercing die blocks. So these are some remedies. So these are some defects. We discussed total 14 types of defects and their causes and their remedies. Hope you understood well. Now we'll discuss the care of tool before concluding this topic. So care of tool is very important. The sliding are as should be lubricated, pillars and bushes, pushes. So the impact lead to damage of die and punch, and the press experiences heavy load of the blank is not lubricated. The die maker is expected to detect faults in press tool resulted when the poor workmanship and from wrong mountings and adjustments. To do so, he must know the causes of faults and method of remedies. So wrong installation of the tool will source in many defects, furnished problem. An immediate indication of the wrongly mounted tool is multilateral. Here mounted tool is unilateral friction of guide pillars. So bright surface of the cut at one side of the part witness as inadequate clearance. The bright surface, the rapid blunting of the cutting edge of the punch and die at the area the fault is normally due to the misaligned bed. So this can be detected by releasing the fastening of the lower shoe and measuring the clearance between the tool and the tool. So this care should be taken. Okay, we discussed total 14 types of defects: burr collection at draw line, thinning, cracking, score marks, ejection problem, then spring back problems, burr on blank or pierced part, the notching, edge pull up, pitch variations, dent mark on the blanked component, the strip is sticking to the blanking punch, so less stripping force due to the short length of the polyurethane rubber is reason, then shut, then tight strip and the piercing. These are different types of defects we discussed. Later part we'll discuss in next lecture. Thank you very much.